it's boys, girls, whatsoever. Perhaps but to them tarian sotong is dia punya culture.
Yeah.
Ya. Sebab dia tak nampak something yang benda-benda macam tu pada dia, oh, those things are is so traditional. People are moving on. So dia nak lebih, so how? Say for example, if they were to choose a topic that is current to their own knowledge level, background knowledge, all those things.
But kita dah kata the freedom of expression kan? Okay. That is uniqueness. Okay. You talk about wow, when you talk about layang. What the difference between layang the other country and layang in Kelantan and Terengganu? You can see the design, the shape, right? That is different.
I think what Encik Muhammad Khalid was saying earlier, I agree. This Polycctube ni kita tak nak menakut-nakutkan orang sebab tak nak heavy sangat. It's just a YouTube content kan. We are not talking about a tree. We are talking about a branch or twig kan. It's just an extension of what you want to tell them about you. So if you make a feature film, that is the whole tree. Okay, pokok tu besar. So now we are targeting just a dahan je kan. Muhammad Khalid betul. It's just a branch. So that branch, that small branch or a twig, dia bukan untuk nak buat elastik je, elastik tu. So it can be an interesting story. It can be a one scene story, or it can be a universal theme. I think love is applicable to all culture. I think it's ingrained in all of us. So I think we are encouraging aspiring filmmakers to come out with theme that is close to you, that reflects our culture and our country, and also to reflect who you are.
Yes, right. You are right, Gulam.
Yeah, Doctor.
That's very nice perspective. You know, but there seems to be a very thin line between creativity and what is seemed to be culturally appropriate. So what do you think are the core values that students can fall back upon in the production of their videos? So with these core values, perhaps, you know, that can be a guideline or a direction setting for these students to produce better videos and perhaps with stronger impact, like what Dr. Ahmad said just now, you know, what is unique? What is the pride of our nation? So what do you think would be the core values?
Okay, the mixture of our culture, the mixture of our races, that is the core value. Okay, how we can stay in harmonies, how we associate ourselves, right? Like how we stand together like brothers, like a family. That's another core. I mean, ideas that we should explore, right? Where there is no other countries such as Malaysia, right?
That's nice.
I think to answer Miss Lee, the guideline or where we draw the line is, I think first of all, as filmmakers, we have to ask ourselves, especially those who are interested in entering this contest, will you show your film or your masterpiece to your family? If you can be proud and show it to your whole family, then I think it's pretty safe, the content that you will enter for this contest. So if you only show it or you are proud to show it to a certain audience or targeted audience, then I think I sense some danger there. So I think it should be family friendly. It should be
okay,
for everybody. Then
what we wanted to know is that your story, you can tell any story. There must be a good story, a very unique story. So in this case, you got to discuss with your group, your friends, tell them this is my story. Okay, is my story interesting or not? If they say yes, that means your story is eligible and very interesting. In fact, I should say that a story is not a one man show, right? Story making is not one man show, right? You must bear in mind, right? So you have to have a lot of you got to have a pool of friends. You know, we can discuss the thing, and you know whether we can analysis whatever story that you have with friends and whatnot. And then once you have the collective idea, your collective answers and collective yes, that is the story. That is a good story. Filmmaking is a storytelling, right? Tell something that people won't expect and unexpected. People will expect this is the story, an unexpected story. This is what we are looking for. We are looking for talent. Okay, we want to build talent here, right? In terms of industry creative, that is our purpose. You know.
Okay, I got something to share with students about what I understand from this competition that we going to do. All right. Nowadays, the word of creative video. Actually, what is Polytechnic doing now is a creative video actually, because it merangkumi macam-macam. Okay, what I can read from the organizer, there's a blog, interviews, testimonial, demonstration, documentary, story, even question and answer. Question and answer is about like maybe some kind of talk show or everything. The problem what we going to is not a problem actually. We as a panel will go through a lot of video, but okay, for example, for one video that using a concept of short film, and another video is a creative video, include documentary style, interview, everything, and it's really creative. So how we gonna judge these two video because of two the two different content, but the method that they are using are totally different. How we going to judge that? That's why, please bear in mind, but it's my opinion. Okay, this is a creative video contest. A creative video contest. How creative they can present, and we get back to the theme that Poly has said, that tell them about us. But in this competition, let them do whatever they want. But if too bad to watch, okay, it's a 3-minute video. 1 minute already bring you a bosan thing, and then you nak tunggu lagi 2 minit.
So what we're looking for is a story.
Yes, story.
Tell us the story about us. Tell a story. What we want is a story, a creative story. And then of course we talk about a story is you got to create the narrative, the sound, the camera work, the lighting, right?
So, what you say is so true. Creativity is so subjective. So how can you judge creativity? That's why our organizer, one of the judging criteria ialah dia mesti ada wow factor. Kan? Dia mesti ada wow factor. You can tell 3 people can make a film about katakan dondang sayang, katakan culture. But one of it must have the wow factor. I mean, what you're looking for is the wow factor. But how can you define wow factor? So it's up to us lah, the judges kan. So because it's very hard to measure creativity kan, is that kan? Macam you cakap. So it's a very
okay. Mr. Gulam, apart from that, wow factor, creativity and everything, but the thing that of the main focus is, can it, let's say for example, neglect all of the ethics in building the video content itself?
Oh, you can't neglect the ethics. You must create within the limitation that the organizer has given. We live in a country where you can't have nudity in your video. So that's why we put this slot, ethical video, the first, which is very important. You must know all the guidelines before you berkarya. So So-
I like your measuring stick, which is very cheap and very useful. If
Very
you
cheap. What do you mean?
no, because
People very cheap, huh?
if you just only need family members. If you want to know whether your video is acceptable by others and everything, first thing first, show your family members.
Oh, that is the first stage. That is the
Yeah.
first stage. So, that is the first guideline. Now, kalau if we bombard them with all these apa ni censorship, memang tak dapat lah penyertaan, kan?
As long as they don't against the racist and agama, that's fine. For example lah, Hari Raya Korban, persiapan makanan kita yang unik, makanan yang tak ada tempat lain, ketupat, rendang and whatnot yang tak ada tempat lain, yang tak ada tempat lain lah. So that is another story. A story. Tell us about the story.
Yeah,
Maybe-
may I ask then, it seems that, a powerful story has to be communicated. And would you agree if I say that, a story which will be deemed as powerful would solve issues or problems in the society or would stretch certain perspective? Would you agree? And in terms of YouTube platform, is there any special etiquettes which are different from other platforms?
Whatever medium you use, the first thing is you must produce something which is truly sincere from your heart. And then, you are talking about such big message. We are not finding a solution for cancer, or we are not launching a rocket to the moon. So this is a YouTube content that encourage people to convey their creativity. Hopefully, if it's a bonus, we get a good message from them. If not, a product from these filmmakers might keep us thinking, oh, betul juga, oh, it's so true. Or it will treat hati kita bila kita tengok video yang diorang hantar tu. That's the wow factor. Because if you can do a film about love, but you can even say the person plagiarized a love story from a different film. But how to tell the story and how you inject the soul in your film or your product, I think that's the wow factor lah yang macam saya cakap.
Actually, it's a very powerful tool in a way, because if your parents or your family members, your friends, your colleague does not approve it, that means there's something wrong with the video itself.
Yeah.
That is not approved by the community.
Actually, I cakap from Chef Wan, if you want to cook something for people, you must like the food first. You open a restaurant, you want to serve people, you kena masak something that you enjoy eating. Betul tak, Muhammad Khalid?
Yes,
So it's the same concept in filmmaking juga, kan? Doktor ada sesuatu nak cakap.
Gentlemen, what we're looking is the pride of our nation. That's all. A pride of our nation. Something uniqueness, a pride of our nation. You can talk anything, you can tell anything, but it must be very compelling stories. A pride of the nation. What is the pride of our nation? Doesn't matter lah. Pride of the nation. Maybe the mixture of our races and whatnot is a pride of the nation.
Yep.
Story waiting rich. Story yang dia tahu. Story yang knowledgeable. Tak mau story yang dia tak tahu. Yang dia knowledgeable story. Knowledgeable yang dia tahu, dia faham pengalaman dia, pengetahuan dia, and then apa yang dia observe surrounding, that is the story. Okay, yang unik.
For this era of pandemic, maybe in this time because of the PKPD and PKP things, okay, maybe the contestant will get trouble to make a very creative video. But sometimes when you have a lot of limitation, you're doing a video with a limitation, the creative will datang. Dia akan datang. Limitation itu kadang-kadang akan menyebabkan the creative things akan keluar sendirinya. So for organizer, you have to bear in mind that we will get a lot of video that maybe they shoot only inside the house. Inside the house. But how creative they are going to show, itu yang kita akan tengok lah.
With all this limitation, kadang-kadang limitation is a blessing in disguise. Kadang with limitation, you use more of your creative tools. Betul kan, Encik Muhammad Khalid?
Before that, panels, I have a question from one of the lecturers. She asked, what about parody? Youngsters nowadays are too much into making parodies. So is it okay if the students choose a good piece of work and remake or reproduce the work from a specific angle?
No, I say
Comedy
yes,
and things
parody.
By all
Parody
means,
is a yes.
yes,
Parody is a yes.
yes.
Parody is a yes.
That's
It's
part
a
of
very
the
creative subject when talking about parody.
I think it's not easy to take something serious and inject humor in it. If you see most of the TikTok video nowadays, mostly it's parody. Okay? So yes, they are most welcome. You can always submit a parody.
Yes. Okay. Actually, when they do documentary and they want to discover things, there's no black and white solution. I mean, saya kata 1 campur 1 campur 1 plus 1 is 2. But in documentary, it could be like this, it could be like this, it could be like this. But all three itu must be in tandem with what is supposed to be the
The topic.
hasil lah, the topic hasil of it. Of course, some people try to look creative by inventing things yang out of the norm, but it end up jadi benda yang oh my god, kan? So itu dia kena be careful juga lah in when they produce the thing.
Okay,
And-
lastly dia mesti ada value.
Yes.
Message must be a value. Value is very important. Okay, you talk about national pride, you talk about nationalism, there must be a value. Kita letakkan value tu. Okay, the humanity value, the universal value.
Okay, just to add about the cheap method tadi tu. Actually, dalam filmmaking or even advertising, we have this we call this focus group. Okay, once we finish a product, okay, a production, kita akan tunjuk to a group of people. Sometimes we asingkan orang ikut dia punya background lah. Some ikut umur, some ikut dia punya pekerjaan, dia punya ideologi. So we want to
Demografi.
see ada demografi, and we want to see dia punya reception to the we pay
correct.
20-30 people to view our iklan and give you your comments before we tunjuk dekat TV. And some big production movies pun they call it macam pre-sales punya level lagi before dia pergi to the main sale punya.
Betul.
They
We
akan-
collect sample.
Yes.
We
So
collect
that cheap
sample.
rental is actually, it's not cheap. It's but itu memang one of the things that you have to do. Because when we produce, we think, wow, bestnya cerita aku. Actually, orang tengok muntah. We want to avoid that. Especially,
So that's why bila dapat idea, dia kena share dengan family,
Yes.
dengan kawan.
exactly.
Okay. Kalau dah kawan-kawan semua accept, dia kata your story is very fantastic, amazing. Okay, that is a good story lah. Audience must accept our storytelling. We got to know how to tell the audience our story. That orang kata storytelling. Storytelling must be good.
Yes.
Nak capture katakan audience. Okay. Nak capture audience makna must be compelling, must be kata orang apa ni, kita must invite student, invite audience. Inviting kita nak. The appealing kita nak. So appealing, inviting, captivating, ini 3 elemen yang mesti kita ada dalam storytelling.
I remember, just last one, I remember we did an interview with Sweet Charity, the band from Singapore. Okay, and Ramli Sarip said, if people go to your concert, buy your albums, then your song is good. Okay, if people curi, download the thing, or kalau you launch the record, 10 orang je beli, then it's not good. So kadang-kadang kita buat lagu ataupun kita buat video, kita rasa wow, saya sendiri pun, in fact my wedding video I re-edit 3 kali. Itu kita kena bear in mind lah. That even we want to see the wow factor, but is it the wowness tu? How wow is the wow? That one kita akan tengok once dia dah bagi kat kita, then
Yeah.
and then kita boleh decide.
You must bear in mind, student kita dah expose dengan berbagai-bagai filem. Ya, berbagai-bagai orang tengok. Okay, this is a trend. Kita mesti ikut trend. Okay, apa yang dikendaki, apa yang tak nak dikendaki oleh audience. Kita dah tahu dah. Okay, audience suka apa, audience tak suka apa. This is a trend.
Okay, we back to our topic in this. The first topic is
ethics.
So what we can conclude. Discussion is about ethics. So what I have assumed that I personally can conclude that we should have an ethic that shown our culture. You must be responsible with your product, your short, your content. Sorry. Okay, and then there's a lot of things that we discussed about. It's about ethic that as a content creator, okay, this student actually is not a filmmakers, okay, they are content creators. So content creators will be producing a good creative video. So what we discussed, we have need to put all the elements. A good ethic. Good ethic is you must responsible with your product.
Value.
Put culture content in that. So creative also is a good ethic actually. But for me, a very important, like what I do now, really pegang sekarang is make sure you're responsible with whatever you do.
Yes.
Don't afraid when you do. It's not about you do and then you think after that. You have to think first before you do. Very professional, yeah. Because nowadays is social media era. Everyone will be a keyboard warriors. They will tell you not to do this, do this, do this.
Yes.
That's a very good message. Okay, so to wrap up the first session, thank you so much to all the panels. We see that, while the students are encouraged to exercise their creativity, but they must be grounded by the values and cultures of the society. And that is why we call it social ethics in video making. So what is appropriate in the society, what is acceptable in the society, and in particular the Malaysian society, is what should be the important key takeaway from this slot. And of course, with the core values like what presented by all the panelists on love, unity, sincerity, and then pride, all these should form the basis of students' boundless creativity. Okay, and with that, we can wrap up that, whatever students do.
Can I add something? Besides love, unity, they must have fun while they are making this video.
Yes.
Yes. So when you have fun, it shows in your product. Okay. Thank you.
That's a very important one. Yes, definitely. So the content creators, the YouTube creators must enjoy what they produce.
Yeah.
Okay. So embrace the pressure, because according to the panelists, with pressure comes creativity, and limitation, with these ethics and things that have to be socially and culturally appropriate can sometimes be a huge blessing in disguise. Okay, so moving on, I think we have the next slot, isn't it? All right, so yes, to students watching this video and slots, remember, okay, your story has to be powerful, it has to stir your heart, and at the same time, perhaps blow your mind. And hopefully, family, friends who watched it, okay,
approve it.
Improve it as well.
Show to the family first before you send it to
upload it.
And before you publish into your social media, ask your family first. If your father said, what are you going to say when people will say like this?
Students should be very careful because of the hyper transparency feature or nature or character of internet nowadays, having many public sharing platforms, and especially on YouTube. Anyone in the world can see it.
Yes.
Yes. So
And can I add in
yeah,
that
sure.
what I understood is although we are highlighting the negative aspect of something, we still have to make sure that we slip in the morality value that we can gain from the issue. So and another thing, of course, because we're talking about etiquette, whatever that we have taken from other people's work, we have to make sure that credit is given. Okay.
And you also should follow YouTube rules and regulations also,
Yes.
since you are using their platform also.
Lastly but not least, your film must look inspirational, right? The inspirational look must be there, right? That's all.
Okay, very well said, all our moderators. I think this is the end of our first slot, kan?
Yeah.
Besides all the do and don'ts by the organizer, all the syarat-syarat yang kita ada, so you must also ask yourself what is appropriate and what is not. Do it sincerely and have fun. So thank you very much. This is the conclusion of this
Okay.
video.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, welcome back to all the panels. We now have Mr. Azizan Rubaan. He has to replace Dr. Ahmad Ibrahim, who has to be excused as he has other commitment. Anyway, Mr. Azizan is a TV program director from FDAM, and he has 20 years of experience, used to be an editor, and he has also directed a documentary on Tun Mahathir, namely Perjuangan Belum Selesai, which was screened by Astro Prima. Okay, now we are at the second slot. As we all know, video content is the perfect way to cut out the demand for any reading and easily engage all types of audiences. And nowadays, people prefer to have a visual touch rather than reading something. And there is no denying that a professional looking video with engaging content can be a great way to expose someone's thought to a previously untapped audience. And I think we have partly discussed on certain aspects of that in the previous discussion, but now we would like to hear more specifically from all of you about choosing video content. So I would like to welcome back all the panels.
Thank you, Puan Shazrina. Okay, to me personally, I think before you start thinking too deep about a content or the content of your video, I think you must choose or you must decide a specific genre. Apa genre yang you nak buat? What is it, a comedy? Is it a psycho thriller, or is it a documentary? So from there, okay, then you decide what actually is your creative process into creating a interesting content for your video. So choosing the right genre is I think is the main thing lah for me lah, before I start any project.
Yeah, may I chip in? Anything that you choose should be something that close to you, and you understand the in and out of the thing. And of course, you can do some research for you to get some knowledge of certain subject. But something that it must be, kita tutup mata aja, you can do it. So that would be easier for you to execute rather than you trying to do something that beyond your thinking and not. I mean, be real lah. Be real. I think that's the word thing. Yeah.
I think there's a saying that says that you look into your backyards.
Yeah.
Tengok halaman rumah, apa yang ada. If you have daun pandan, you do a story about daun pandan. If you have serai, you do serai. You don't try to do oregano. Right now you can't even fly to Italy or Europe, kan? So betul Cik Zon, you do whatever that is close to you, kan? And they always say your first film is your autobiography. You do something that is you, that reflect yourself. Sebelum tu, selamat datang Encik Azizan. Ya. Agree tak Cik Azizan? Saya rasa nak buat sesuatu tu kena dekat dengan hati, kan? Kena dekat dengan seseorang itu. Dan utama.
Yes, I agree. Because all of these things is about your story. How about your portray your story? How about your pengalaman, let's say? How about your journey life? Okay, now we are talking about the content itself. Apa yang kita nak persembahkan. Biasanya dia dimulai dengan the idea. Kemudian script. If let's say ada script, if not, it's okay. It's depend on what you guys nak buat. Kalau kita nak buat yang santai-santai, kita say dalam TikTok tak boleh nak panjang, kan? So pendek je. Pendek tetapi ada punch. Pendek tapi dia bermakna dan dia tak dragging sebab dia pendek. So kita mesti buat dalam keadaan yang sangat kata orang tu ada pengisiannya. Tak adalah macam dah lah pendek, kemudian hujungnya tu ni cerita apa ni, tak tahu apa, hujung pangkal no meaning at all. So on the bottom line is content itself, itu yang sangat penting. Macam mana kita nak create.
Yelah, macam di Aswara juga kan Cik Izzat, Cik Dizo, kita selalu dapat student yang datang jumpa dengan kita, okay, sir, I'm stuck with idea. I don't know what to write. I don't know what story I'm going to tell. So I always tell them, you write a log line first. A log line is one sentence that represents your whole story. For example, if you write a log line that says, my story is about a blind girl who learned piano, then you will have a general idea what to research, what film to see, and then how to tambahkan isi dan daging dalam cerita you. But I said you write a log line in one sentence, what you gonna tell, what story you gonna tell.
All right, I would like to share something that I get from the internet. That there's some reviews about how often people using the internet to watch videos. Okay, there's the numbers. This guy named he said each month 85% of internet users in the US especially watch video content. By 2021, the average person will spend 100 minutes every day watching online videos. 19% increase from 2019. 93% of companies claim that they got a new customer because of their video content on social media. Okay, and then 60% of business said that video get the best return on investment (ROI) on the social media. Look, how people using internet and people using videos to show something about themselves.
Okay, saya setuju. Whatever it is, benda ni sebagai satu ilmu untuk dikongsi. Kita nak tunjukkan who we are. Tell your story, tell ourselves, tell orang lain mengenai Malaysia, kan? So apa yang ada? Apa yang kita ada? Tak banyak negara yang hidup dalam kalangan majmuk, tapi dia harmoni. Because of why? Itu pun salah satu topik konten yang boleh diceritakan. Dan yang paling penting adalah di penghujung cerita itu sendiri akan ada orang yang tertarik nak tahu lebih lagi. Society, ekonomi, people, history, culture, it depends on student lah nak buat macam mana. Creativity tu penting. Content tu sangat penting because of content baru kita dapat tahu nanti rupanya hujung jadi macam mana, kan?
Our intention is very important, kan Cik Izzat, kan? What we do. Okay, kita nak cerita pasal pemilihan kandungan. Dalam 3 minit tolak kredit 1 minit dah katakan 2 minit. Is it possible to do a good content for documentary? Sometimes you get people who love to talk. So how do you distribute that limitation of time in documentary in telling a good story? Aslinya.
Okay, I think that 1 minute of credit pun I think is a bit too long. Okay, I think 15 seconds pun dah cukup. And then okay, lately we can see a lot of 30 seconds and 60 seconds documentary in Facebooks and all that. In fact, I think there is a festival in the state. They just do a 60 seconds documentary.
You call that a PSA, kan? Can you call a 30-second documentary?
Dia PSA kalau if you want to put some kind of nilai-nilai into, but if you want to just give knowledge, katalah cara-cara buat pensel, that can be done in 60 seconds. So kalau kita ada 3 minutes punya video, katalah 2.5, okay? 2.5, I think it memang boleh buat. Tapi the student must be focused on what actually they want to show. They cannot show the process of from cutting the tree sampai dia masukkan the graphite. Yes, very selective. Just focus on one thing saja. There could be 10 big things dalam the process of doing a pencil, but you just concentrate on one. Maybe the filling up the graphite, the carbon, that's all. Or how did they prepare the black lead graphite or whatever they call it lah, carbon tu. Just focus on that. So you must be very selective because you only have 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So you just, and then go straight into the subject, the introduction. Just go straight to the. I think that there's a lot of the video even in YouTube pun sekarang, the 60-second documentary.
Oh.
So if you can do it in 2 minutes, lagi banyak benda lah you boleh masuk. In fact, and it's very interesting because it's like doing commercials. Commercials dulu kita buat 30 seconds. We only have 30 frame. Okay, 1 second, 1 frame. One shot. So you must be very, very selective because that is your life and death dekat that 30 second, that 30 pictures.
They time the storyboard. I remember
Yes,
during the commercial. They time every single action from the storyboard so that it doesn't exceed the time. Talk about selective, sama juga filem pendek pun. I always tell my students, you have to be really stingy. You cannot have more than 10 scenes. I rasa for I think for a 3-minute short film,
one scene.
One scene. It has to be a one scenario, one location, one scene. Okay. You cannot have you cannot have 3 flashbacks or you know a 1 minute introduction. So you don't have the luxury of that. So you have only 3 minutes or less than that to tell your story. So you have to be really stingy, you have to be really selective, and you have to set your priority. What you want to tell, okay, in your film, in your video. So
you must time your work. Meaning that if you look at advertisements, okay, they will repeat that thing over and over again. So if you put a shot half a second pun, people will watch it again and again, they will understand. But when you do a short movie, you cannot do that because sometimes people just watch it once, that's it. They understand, they don't understand, finish. Okay, we don't have directors going to the cinema, standing in front of the screen after the movie. They have to explain, actually that story was about, no.
That's why they are target audience. You that commercial for target audience.
Commercial is more likely to make the video more memorable.
Yeah, but they will repeat the thing.
Yeah.
So they have that luxury. But kita movie tak ada. So you have to time it. Kalau editing wise, usually a shot kita akan bagi 1.5 second for people to understand a shot. What is all about. If you give it 1 second or less, people cannot. Biar orang faham your story rather than you nak cepat put everything and then orang tak faham. Gone. So better that you time the thing. You have 60, 180 kan? 180 seconds. So you time it. 1.5 to 2 seconds. Okay, senang. 2 seconds. Then you will know.
Okay, I have a question too, actually. You know, these videos will be produced by the Z generation.
Okay.
Yeah, because they are, you know, roughly around between age of 18, 20. So what is deemed appropriate to their generation, as in the video content may sometimes be not appropriate to other generation. So in terms of that, how do these students choose their content? And when we talk about video content, what comes into my mind is the text content, the audio content, and the video content itself, which many of you panelists have actually elaborated. So perhaps, you know, you can share some experience and understanding more on perhaps the text, the audio, and perhaps the effects of it, you know, and not just that. What would be deemed appropriate for this Z generation to portray in their video? Because YouTube audience, it's huge. It's public. Everyone. So how do they capture their content in the video?
Frankly, if you ask me, to me, the content should be timeless. There shouldn't be Z generation, X, Y generation, whatever is generation. Because if you watch the supposedly Z generation is doing now, they took the old movies and re-edit the thing. Okay, so to me, there shouldn't be specifically for the Z generation. Okay, you have to do it like this. Actually, they just change the mood or the style of presentation, but the filmmaking is the same. It's just how you represent and represented by the Z generation is that is the thing. And but we have to bear in mind juga our audience nowadays, those with the gadgets are the young ones. To them is anything that jump or terbang, wow. Which to the old people like Gulam, they might go, oh God, what is this? Kan?
Yeah.
But nowadays things move so fast itself. But all in all, the purpose of the video itself is to tell a story.
Yeah.
So how well you tell a story, how well is memorable, I think that is how it should be lah. No matter what generation it is.
Okay, my experience with Generation Z, they are very excited. Once they get their camera, oh, aku nak buat short film, I'm going to make a film. So they're going to shoot lots of footages. So at the end of the day, when they are in the editing table, they will cry. Like, you know, they don't know what to throw, what to keep. Right? Confess to that, you are the expert in editing. So I have a very interesting quote from Stephen King. He wrote all writing. He said, when you write a short story, imagine yourself that you are lost in a jungle, surrounded by trees and lalang and tall grass. Your short story is that path. Imagine you have a knife and you cut a small path till you see civilization. So that is your short story. Just a small path to go back to civilization so that you are not lost in the jungle. So that is a short story. But with the young people, I know they want gairah, they want excited. They want to do this, they want to do that, they want to do an epic film in 3 minutes. So that's why we are here to tame them down. That's why we are expert in editing and documentary, and Izzat also in storytelling. Kalau kita banyak footage, we have lots of footage. We have shoot like 15 hours of footage. Cuba you cerita, you can tell this aspiring filmmaker that what they're going to face in the editing table. Cuba cerita sikit, Cik Zizan.
It's going to be if you got
Disaster,
so much disaster, if you got so many things inside your one video, especially in a short video like 3 minutes, let's say, everything in there. So what's the main topic for the content itself? Make sure ambil satu topik, let's say I'm doing this documentary called Chris, but inside that I tell the audience how come that meteor inside that Chris. Dan yang lebih menariknya adalah diceritakan dalam keadaan bersahaja, semudah yang boleh orang fikir, kan? Topiknya dah berat. Kalau diceritakan dalam keadaan yang berat, lagilah susah. Kalau student nak buat, biar semua orang faham, tak kisah apa generasi pun, semuanya boleh dibuat dalam keadaan yang lebih mudah difaham, janji kontennya ada dan juga ada nilai-nilai baik di situ.
Yelah, macam Cik Izzat kan, Cik Izzat is a good cinematographer. So saya rasa masa kita shooting tu pun kita dah perlu eliminate apa yang kita nak ambil kan Cik Izzat. Kalau kita shoot semua, nanti kita jadi lost. Kita tak tahu apa intipati cerita kita. What is the core of our story if we have too much kan?
Yeah. Okay. For me, about the topics of too much footage. Okay, too much. Not content footage. We consider as a B-roll. Okay, that's why in filmmaking or even a video production in broadcast, there's a concept of A-roll and B-roll. There's a two things. There's a different. The A-roll, all the content that you want to, you already figure out which visual you want to put in your story. okay, in your product. But the B-roll is to supporting the A-roll content. Okay, why B-roll? We need the B-roll. That's why some filmmakers and video creators in the US especially, the concept of B-roll, they will shoot any B-roll that can use in emergency situation. If the A-roll cannot, because the A-roll and the first story that you buat tak boleh nak support untuk cerita. Or B-roll is cutaways. Okay, cutaways means cutaways is a supporting footage to your A-roll to make sure that your content still on track. The pre-production process is very important to make sure which footage, which visual you want to put in your timeline. If you bring everything, that's why apa yang Cik Azizan cakap tadi, semua everything rojak lah. If you put everything inside there, because our eyes, when you see one shot, there's a research has been made that one shot in one shot, people or viewers can recognize what you are trying to say is 4 seconds to make sure people understood what you are trying to show. Is 10 seconds, dah boring. 4 seconds is very nice to make sure people identify what is going on. 5 to 6 seconds, they recognize what is metaphor or semiotic things that you want to put.
So the A-roll is the main core of the story. B-roll, what the famous Japanese filmmaker called Ozu call it pillow shots. You need
pillow shots. Yes.
Pillow shots. You need insert to sort of relax the audience eyes. And then sometimes the B-roll is to cover some mistake that you can't help in the editing, kan, Cik Izzat, kan?
Yeah,
Like,
that's why in documentary there's a term they call a beauty shot or money shot. They want to release the audience about what they're trying to show. For example, for National Geographic, they're showing animals. Okay, there must be a very beautiful shot, a sunset, a sunrise, maybe a bird eye view shot. Okay, showing the geographical of that jungle. That thing is release your mind. That's why, as a content creator, a video creator, okay, a creative video creator, you must have this element of to put inside your video. Not all information. Okay, for example, when you use a content to showing a very detailed thing, you guys will use a shot of close up and extreme close up. What people or viewers will get when you always use too many in 3 minutes you're using a very detailed close up, that will make people's minds stress. It create tense. So a wide shot, a beauty shot should be nice to release people's mind. That's why in your content you must put a variety of shots, not only a very close-up shot. It's create tense. Don't put too many close-up shots. Sometimes we have to release the shot to make sure audience can think about what you are trying to show. If not, first shot, use a very wide shot or very medium wide, full shot, close up, and then after release the audience mind with the wide shot. So choosing this kind of thing, you have to consider. Even the audio, don't put too much audio. If you are showing people eating, okay, or animals, don't ever use a music that's some kind of like a punk or heavy metal music. No. it's not suitable with the visual. When you use, yes, you can use, but the problem is it's not suit with the visual. So you have to consider with this kind of how do you choose your music, your audio, your sound effect to actually it's a supporting of what you're trying to use while you use visual storytelling. Visual storytelling, when you support with the music, but the background music, okay, not people singing. If people singing, there will be like some kind of music video. If you put 3 minutes, people eating, but the music background is Siti Nurhaliza, Aku Cinta Padamu. It's going to be like music video, right? So this thing, as a video creator, you must consider from pre-production stage, from the idea and then the process of pre-production. You have to choose what visual you want to take, or you want to shoot, and until what you when the production stage, what you have to manage, which is the main content, which is the supporting, which means you have A role and B role, and then in the process editing you will use A and B. But before using the B role, you must arrange your A role first, your body of your content, So body of your content, and then after that, when you show we do offline editing, and then we see something like there's something missing, so check the B roll, what we can use the B roll to support your first video. That's why B roll, just take whatever you want to take. The problem is when the A roll team have to shoot the B roll part. That's why kita pergi, kalau documentary especially, we have a 2 team, A and B. So B you buat cutaway saja. A roll, make sure tunjuk benda yang paling penting nak tunjuk. B is supporting, mesti ada B untuk backup. It's a backup plan. It's a backup. If everything, that's why when we shoot, we have there's a Conti guy or Conti girl will use the Conti sheet. Okay, there's a NG, no good take. There's a KIV, and then there's a good take. In our era, this Conti sheet is very, very important to the editor, because the editor will choose the good take only. The KIV and the NG take, they will separate. Okay, but sometimes when good footage we can't use the good take because of certain problem. The NG take or the KIV take we can
backup
as a backup. That's a very important when you do your content.
Okay, one other question. Let's say, for example, for a 3-minute video, is there a limit for number of characters should be in one frame or in the whole video?
Actually, when we come to short film, when a 3 minutes videos film, there should be less actors, less character. One place, one scene, or it's very, very limited. Limited things you can do. Okay, you must put, sorry, for short film, in 3 minutes, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 characters. Okay, the story is in one place, or maybe two place. The scene will be not more than 3 or 4 scene. Okay, but in video content, I think it should be no limit of character. But in 3 minutes, what you are going to show in 3 minutes? 3 minutes is very short. If the video is too fast, then orang tak dapat, kalau best, orang akan tengok macam, ui, sekejap dah habis. Kan? Tapi kalau video tu boring, 1 minute pun orang dah, apa ni?
Bila nak habis?
Bila nak habis? Macam tu. So the video makes people stay for 1 minute without blinking his eyes. Actually, it's a good video. It's a good thing. Kan? Kalau 5 second, 5 to 20 second pun kita dah.
Okay, penambahan sedikit. Dulu kita biasa gunakan A yang baik, yang bagus. Kemudian B itu macam yang tak bagus. Simpan, dia jadi NG. Not good take lah dipanggil. Tapi sekarang ini, A-roll adalah kita punya shot-shot yang memang digunakan, memang nak digunakan. Itu adalah planning shot yang utama. Kemudian adanya wujud B-roll. Ada orang mengatakan B-roll itu juga adalah yang kita akan insert. Untuk insert. Tetapi zaman sekarang, B-roll itu kalau kita tengok pada di dalam YouTube, B-roll tu digunakan sebaik-baik mungkin dengan sinematografi yang cantik. Pun dikatakan B-roll juga. Dia dalam keadaan yang cantik. Beauty shot. Dan dari beauty shot tu juga akan terhasillah yang dipanggil sebagai breathing space. Kita cerita-cerita, kita nak relax sekejap, sambung balik. Yang time relax itulah boleh digunakan untuk B-roll tadi. Kalau kita himpunkan semua antara A-roll dan B-roll dan kita cari yang mana yang bagus antara kedua-dua ni, percampuran ini akan menghasilkan satu keadaan yang cantik.
I pun nak tambah sikit. You see guys, to the students lah, when we do this thing, this is an art thing. So you must have your heart and soul into that. Okay, when I did my documentary, I remember one of my teacher told me, if you see something interesting while doing something else, you're shooting an aeroplane or something, and then you saw something at the side, and your heart told you, hey, that's a nice shot, take it. You might use it because sometimes when you are doing editing, alamak, kenapa aku tak ambil benda tu? Things that thing, this kind of thing will happen. You can find any kind of topics anywhere around you. Could it be a gossip? Your neighbor bergaduh ke apa benda ke?
Paper cutting.
Something something that happened, kisah benar. But you have to tweak it. Okay. When I remember when I studied last time film, my lecturer asked me to get articles, newspaper cuttings, or from mostly we took it from Reader's Digest at that time, because the Reader's Digest had a lot of true story in the publication. So you take that story and you tweak it into your taste. So meaning that first, okay, this is practically what we had to do. We cut the paper cutting, stick it on the paper, and just write whatever comes into your mind, the story. In fact, when I was doing that, I remember it was about somebody was racing rally, had an accident. That was the news. But I came up with the story of this guy, buat rally, and he had an accident, and he went into a new dimension. So I start that thing from there. So how are you going to start? Because usually when you want to start to create a story, so one of the easiest thing is you get a newspaper cutting or articles and all that from magazines, stick it, read it, and then you start your own story based on that original story from the articles. So you as the student, when you want to create a story, you look around you, okay, and start thinking how if you can get a real story. Usually takut gosip ni akan menyebabkan orang ni marah dan macam. But you tweak the story. You tweak the story a bit, and then it will become your original story.
I want to answer Encik Muhammad Khalid's question just now. I have a totally different opinion about how many characters in a short film. I have a different opinion I think for me, if you are creative, you can have hundreds of characters in your 3 minutes film, but you have to use it wisely. You can have a crowd rioting outside the house, but you use a voice, you use a Foley or voiceover to create the 100 characters. You can have a story about one person trapped in a house, but there is 100 of alien outside using sound effects. So I don't want to intimidate our future filmmakers, because I feel the limitation is your imagination. If you want 200 people in your film, it's possible, but you do it differently. So you should limit one or two characters, but you can have supporting cast by using sound effects, by using photograph, by using still photograph footages or dialogue. Through dialogue with two person talking, you can say, look, there's 5 robbers outside, trying to get in. So by using dialogues, you can create characters in your story. And to elaborate Cik Dizol punya tadi, I know filmmaking is like interior designing. There are some people who design a living room by a painting. It starts with a painting or sofa, and then they kembangkan. Just like filmmaking, to come up with a good content, maybe you come up with a prop. Maybe a knife. You hold a knife, it can trigger into a 3-minute film. So you can start with an object, you can start with a gossip, you can start with a newspaper cutting, or you can even start from a folk story from your parents. From there, you can create a story from that old belief from the Malay culture. So I think there is no limit into creativity. It's just how you practice. It's how you do it. And I hope that will answer your question.
A bit additional on my opinion about creating a video content. Okay. One advice to amateur or a beginner, okay, what content you should make. Just make just make video that what you like, what close to you. It's better to understand what you want to tell. It's quite difficult when you want to show that the things that you don't know, and then you're trying to show people, then it will make people not understand what is the content of your video. Make sure you do things that in surrounding your surrounding, okay, about your hobby, especially you like to cook, then do a video about food, or you love your cats, do about cats. It's a creative video. How creative comes is how you tell the story, how you tell about the hobby, the content, how to tell. This is a different way to tell a story or content. To create creativity, you can create. It's come from your hati. When you hantar your video into festival, don't pursue for winning. Don't pursue the prize. Just be yourself. You hantar video and you hantar, and then sebab you nak menang, you nak tunjuk you power. No, you takkan dapat.
What Cik Izzat is trying to say is, if you are not married, don't do a story about divorce. Betul tak Cik Izzat? If you have never gone through marriage, jangan pandai-pandai buat cerita pasal penceraian, kan? Do something that is close to you.
Boleh lah, tapi you have to do a lot of research lah.
True. I think the essence lies in, you cannot give what you don't have. It's very important to work on what you have, like what all the panelists have said. And coming to the end of almost to the end of this slot, we have seen the big picture of the 4-second rule. Within that 4 seconds, like what our panelists said, you have to be able to pick the interest of the audience. Because in that 4 seconds, the audience will decide whether they want to watch your video or not. And same to the judges, am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. And also, I think we have also discussed about, cinematographic elements of your videos, and we've seen especially the content so seriously discussed by our panels. And I think that is actually the meat of the burger that you eat. The content. Okay, so yeah, I think you will definitely learn so much to all the students. Okay, and don't forget to hit all these wise words from our panelists on the choice of the content for your video, and choose properly, choose wisely, choose maturedly, and most importantly, like what we have mentioned right from the start, Mr. Gulam said, don't forget to choose what makes you enjoy doing it.
Yes, and the content is the pearl you cultivate, not a burger, okay?
Okay.
The
All right.
content is the pearl you cultivate. You have to cultivate your stories, yeah?
Okay, not the food that you eat.
Yes.
And get digested, and that's it. Yes.
You guys should watch a movie called Like Water for Chocolate.
Ooh.
It's a Mexican movie, Like Water for Chocolate. How
Chocolate, yes.
yeah how the director show, not because of the taste, actually how the tukang masak feel ketika dia masak. Okay.
I think that wraps up a very strong message. Do your videos from your heart. Your heart will, take you far. Okay, so I guess that wraps up our second slot.
Okay, now we move on to slot 3, entitled Quality Video Production Techniques. So a good video is a video enjoyed by its audience, no more and no less. Now the audience may be you, your followers on social media, or client who hired you for a job. Making a good video therefore implies that you know your audience and what they like to watch. One of the ways to tackle them is by having quality video production techniques. There are various types of techniques to tell your story. And in this slot, our panelists will discuss on techniques for producing quality videos, such as rule of third, aerial perspective, boom shot, B-roll. So you will be exposed to all of these things. So students will be explained about the use of equipment and software also that will assist in creating videos without the need for high budgets and expertise. So I'll pass the floor to Mr. Gulam.
The technique that you use is just a supporting, it's a secondary thing. The content of your story is more important. But nevertheless, the technique, the right technique will add production value to your video. Okay. For example, if you use only static shots or intercuts, then your visual storytelling won't be interesting. So if you have lots of but then every technique that you use must synchronize with your story. For example, if you track in or track out, there must be a reason for doing that. Not because you want to show your superiority in techniques.
Okay, I would like to share something that I forgot about this webinar. Is going to be like a talk show. I forgot. So I prepared some I prepared some presentation. Okay, so I would like to share something.
Creative.
Creating quality video. There's a few elements that I figure out that students should know. Okay, to create a quality video. But before you do to do the quality video, the first part of before you do your video is create a storyboard. What is storyboard? Storyboarding helps you figure out exactly what shots you need before you start filming. And shooting script is like screenplay for your video. Any videos, any content you do, it's good thing if you can make some storyboard. Okay, storyboard mostly in film production, in TV commercial is very, very important because it shows how your products will be shown, will be presented to audience. Okay, this is an example of storyboard panel for Harry Potter. It's very important for students to create a simple storyboard to have a pre-visual of your content. What element and what visual should be on the video is really help you. Okay, remember, the more time you spend planning on your film, on your film or video, the less you find yourself missing footage later on. So storyboard is very important. Okay, move to the next slide. Prep your actor, actress, talent or subject or product. Prep means, okay, make sure if you use talent, make sure they know what expected of them beforehand to minimize mistakes or waste time on the day of the shoot. If you just put on the camera in front of the actors and then just act without any preparation, without any rehearsal, itu akan jadi problem pada you nanti. Why? Every time you make the actors make mistake, you have to cut. Then when you cut, each time they make mistake, you cut. If 10 times, the mood of the actors will be down. Okay. The second one is you should have a good idea of what the scene is going to look like long. before arrive on allocation, and your talent should know exactly what they are doing. That's why in the process of video making, there's a 3 step of video making. There's a pre-production, production, and post-production. There's a three stage. As a filmmakers or video creator have to go through. Okay, and the number 3 is talent should memorize open page of script. Very important to know what is happening in the script before you put your camera to shoot them. Okay, make sure your talent remember all the script or all the dialogues and what is going to happen in that scene. All right, number 3. Number 3, know what B-roll footage. As we talked before, B-roll footage everybody knows. Okay, so there's a A and B roll. A is a main, B is a supporting. So supporting is good to have supporting visual to you guys use when you on the post-production side. Okay, the first one is to make sure they know what expected of them beforehand to minimize mistake time on the day of the shoot. B-roll is essentially any footage that isn't of your primary subject. If you're filming an explainer video showing your software product, B-roll footage might include shots of satisfied customers, using of your product, or external shot of your office. But figure out during the pre-production phase is to avoid situation in which you need footage you don't have. Okay, then there's no such thing as too much B-roll. B-roll is okay if you want to take a lot of B-roll, but for A-roll, don't waste time. Don't waste time shoot on B-roll if you are shooting a A-roll part. The main content is A-roll. The supporting content is a B-roll. Hope you guys understand. Okay, there's a tips about this. Need a shot of something that will be difficult or impossible to film yourself, such as aerial shot or footage from exotic locals. You can always use stock B-roll footage. Okay, nowadays there's a lot of website and a lot of providers of the stock footage. Okay, sometimes before this, I have used this bunch cross B-roll or shuttlecock. But some of these websites you have to pay to take the B-roll if you guys want to use. But the best thing is shoot for yourself. Okay, shoot for yourself, because when you shoot by your own, automatically the footage will be yours. Okay, all right. Use the rule of third. This is what the moderator Encik Khalid said. All right. Actually, it's not very technical, these things. Okay. From this picture, whenever you're filming anything or taking picture, remember the rule of third. What is rule of third? Okay. As the picture in front of you guys. Okay. Imagine your shot is divided into these 9 equal sector by 2 horizontal line and 2 vertical line. Mendegak dan melintang lah. Okay. Nowadays, even phone camera, phone camera, okay? Phone camera have this line. It's not called, on phone, they will not rule as a rule of third. It's called grid line.
Grid line.
Yes, grid line. Use the grid line to position your subject. Okay, there's a 4 empat tanda di sini, alright. This we can put in this 9 box, any part of this box, and if you want to use, yes, you can put your subject. But normally, when the rule of third, you apply the rule of third, there's a point, there's a 4 point you can use. Okay, but this is rule of third we apply for the still photo, but nowadays videos also we can use it. All right, let's watch this example of this video. Look how interesting this picture. They're using the rule of third. They put all this subject on the grid line.
They put at the cross there.
Yes, it's automatically separate the background, the foreground, and the middle ground lines. It's very important when you use to take a picture or videos. Diagonal lines create great movement. Look how it creates movement. It shows how the subject goes, where the subject goes. Framing, use natural frame like windows and door. The concept of frame in frame. When you guys know all these elements, it's really easy to shoot. Use this guide, the rule of third. Look, this is the visual of still photos, but it's create move. Get close to your subject, yes, like this. The dominant eye in the center of the phone. Pattern and repetition. This is the element and principle of the photography actually. Because the videos comes from the still picture and cinematography is come from the picture actually. Symmetry, pleasing the eye, symmetry.
Do you also call this shot centralized framing, Cik Izzat?
Yeah.
Okay. Many people say centralized framing are not very suitable for filmmaking. It's more for news reading and also for reporting. But I think it's not true. Sekarang dah banyak exception kan. Even if you see many films also, sometimes there is exception of breaking the rules kan. Kita kena guna kita punya firasat or our instinct as a filmmaker kan.
Okay, that's why when you use frontal shots, okay, a frontal shots. When you use a frontal shots, okay, in motion picture, we call it as motion picture. When we use a motion, we apply a motion picture. When you take a frontal shots, we can use a movement of the camera. That's why there's a movement on the camera. There's a dolly in, there's a dolly out, there's a tilt down, tilt up, pan left, pan right. We can use it. So it's totally we totally use all the element of the photography by moving image. If you put the camera in front, so people will say it's a flat shot. If you guys watch movies, the Grand Budapest Hotel, yes, it's a very flat composition by the cinematographer. Okay, the cameraman shoot the film as a flat composition. But when he moved the camera, the flat getting interesting. Okay, no, that's why it's okay when you want to shoot in front, but sometimes we have to move the shot or move the subject. Don't only take, you take a visual of actor and then he just stay and freeze. Move the actors. Okay, make the people, the actors cry or laugh, or yes, it's a lock frame. It's a lock frame. Okay, put a camera in front of the actor and then lock frame, and then minta actors buat apa-apa, buat based on the script lah. Okay, so make sure then dia takkan bagi benda tu boring. So even flat, dia ada moving image. That's why on creating video, creative video, move your camera or move your talent. You can avoid the flat shot. That's why the element of photography and element and principle of photography kita apply dekat dalam motion picture. Actually, bila kita apply, then automatically shot kita akan nampak lebih cantik dan kemas. Alright, I share sikit lagi. Primary subject in the image is position where 2 of the 4 points, which are known as the anchor point. This technique is used to draw the eyes toward the main point of interest in the shot, and viewers' eyes will naturally gravitate toward the top left anchor point. Okay, this is the certain point that you can use on the composition and how you compose your video. Okay, the composition is not only for the subject, your talent or your product. It's applied to any shot of the landscape by using the horizontal and vertical lines. Like I said before, we can use this grid line or rule of third to separate the visual that we take from the background, midground, and the foreground. Okay, the foreground is the nearest subject in front of your camera. The midground is in the middle of the frame. Okay, and then the background is the paling jauh lah. So movement, most of basic cinematography movement can make your videos look interesting. This fundamental camera technique can inspire a countless numbers of combinations that will be add depth and visual interest to your next video project. Okay, zoom. If you are going to use zoom, try to it creatively. All right. If you shoot your videos by using a phone camera, it's not suitable for zoom in or zoom out, because the camera phone is not a broadcast camera or a still photography. Okay, the using of zoom is not smooth as broadcast camera or still camera. Okay, you can zoom, but in my opinion, avoid zoom by using a camera phone. It's not smooth enough to show how to tell your viewers by using zoom on your camera. If you use a DSLR camera or professional video camera, it's okay to use the zoom. Panning, move your camera horizontally, either left to right or right to left. While it's fixed on a certain point. Okay, you can move. Pan is mean from right to left or left to right. Fill is when you move the camera vertically. It means from up to down, from down to up. Okay, while it's fixed to a certain point. All right, dolly. Nowadays, there's a lot of supporting equipment. Okay, nowadays there's a lot of supporting equipment that you can use. The most popular nowadays is gimbal. People, especially film students, okay, wedding videos, they always use the gimbal. Okay, gimbal is invention from the camera gear, camera supporting gear called Steadycam. Okay, for filmmaking, Steadycam is really big, very heavy, but because of the development of evolution of still camera, before this still camera, you only can shoot picture by using still camera, but now this still camera can shoot video. Okay, because of this consumer need to consume all this equipment, they have made a equipment called gimbal. Okay, using a gimbal can do all these things, dolly and shaft. A dolly, and a dolly is when you move the entire camera forward and backward, typically on some sort of track or motorized vehicle. Same as truck. Trucking is the same as dollying. Looks like the same, but you can use in very short. Only you are moving the camera from left to right instead of in out. If you using the in out, it's called dolly. If you move from left to right or right to left, it's called truck. Okay. Steadicam, floating cam, or stabilized shot. This is the same as gimbal. Okay. Nowadays, if you guys, new generation, you guys know this the gimbal thing. There's some brand called Xeon. It's very cheap, about 1,600 you can get. Okay. There's a gimbal also for phone camera. Okay. Phone camera and DSLR camera. Okay, a Steadicam is a wearable device that gives the shot stability while providing the flexibility of a handheld shot. The operator holds the camera mounted to the device while capturing a smooth, flowing shot around a central subject or character. Handheld shot. A handheld shot lets you take the camera on the go as you follow the action of a scene. With this camera movement, the operator takes control of the camera and hold it while performing several basic crane job. Let's look at an example of camera movement. All right. We can see, okay, let's see this video. It's a 12 minute, but we're not going to 12 minutes. Look how smooth when you use. This is not a gimbal. This is mostly like this one is what we call it. It's not it's not it's a fly cam, but fly cam is not like this. The difference between movement and not without the camera or without the movement and with the movement. This is without the movement. With the movement, look, when you move the camera, actually, it creates a development of your story. Okay, the development of your story and your product. Don't use because of wow, it's so beautiful when you shoot when you move the camera. It's not about the beauty. It's about telling a story. There's a development from one shot into another shot. By using this kind of gear, we support the visual by using the camera movement. Okay, this is the basic pan right. This is a pan right. Look how this guy pan the camera. Why we use all this term? Because it's a global language in filmmaking. All the world using the same term. Okay, I skip the video. Right, look, camera. From down to up. to get a smooth, very smooth tilt and pan, you have to use a very good quality tripod. A still photography tripod, yes, they can stand the camera very steady, but when you use a tilt or pan, it's quite difficult to move. But when you use a high-end tripod, you can move your camera very smooth. Yes, Ronin. 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 It's called Ronin. Look how they move the camera. Look. This is a frontal shot, but when you move the camera, the image totally different when you move the camera. All right, enough with this video because we have a lot of time.
Yeah, I think this is more catered to the professional level.
I try to find a very simple video, but what I found in YouTube, all this simple video actually is all professional.
Professional level.
Yes, it's professional level, but there's a more professional than this.
What about, let's say, for example, students who have limited equipment? For example, they just only have their smartphone in their hand.
Yes, they can find at the YouTube. It's called creating video by smartphone, using smartphone. Okay, by using smartphone. Because okay, I have one video, sample video. Okay, resolution for versi Note 9 pun agak tinggi, so sesuai untuk shoot on Full HD. But nowadays phone pun boleh shoot 4K.
Okay. So meaning some of these information stuff like this is already available in YouTube or whatever, where students they can just only type the knowledge.
Yes.
If they want.
The student can shoot the way of the guerrilla shoot. How the guerrilla shoot, okay? Okay, and when they want to move the camera, okay, sometimes they will use a very clean surface and then they put some kain on it and put the phone. So when they pull the kain, the camera phone will create a movement of or tracking shots. They can use this kind of method. Okay. For some production that's using the guerrilla concept, if they want to get a shot of tracking shot or dolly shot, they can use the supermarket trolley. They get into the supermarket trolley or any trolley, even the skateboard, they can put the camera on the skateboard and then they just move the camera. So it's automatically can create the movement, or sometimes we can call it as a cinematic movement. It's a cinematic movement. So student can use a lot of way, a lot of method by watching videos and try to think what is the best of method to get that kind of shot.
Okay, another thing, some of the questions regarding the quality of the audio itself. For example, perhaps sometimes they already recorded the video, but the quality of audio is very poor. What are the things that they can use to counter such thing? Because if, let's say, for example, they want to use something like headset and microphone, is going to be very limiting.
Yes, but for the beginners, phone is the best gear that you can use to record the audio. Okay. For the beginners, maybe they can use even the professional use it. It's called H4n. It's a recording device. It's a recording device. It's using a very small device. It's using a memory card, but for the concept same as a phone. When you use a phone, there's a like for example for our microphone here, okay, we can use as a mic for the talent. They put inside this mic inside the shirt, okay, and put this the mic inside the shirt, and then they put the phone inside their pocket. So they record the same they record first, and then the camera will throw to action to say action. But the problem is when we use this kind of mic, it will capture the nearest sound. So there will be problem when this mic bergeser dengan baju kan, and then on the quality audio, the best is you use a clip mic, but it's okay when you use the only audio from your phone. It's okay because for the beginners, but try to avoid them. Use a phone camera to record your audio. Okay, to record your audio. Find some microphone that's a very tiny microphone like this, and put inside your shirt. And then take some cellophane tape or gaffer tape, put inside your baju, and then to cover it up. Okay, so try for the cameras, the still camera. Okay, the still camera and the phone camera actually is not recording a very good quality audio. Not actually. If you want to use audio from the camera, your DSLR camera or your phone camera, make sure that you shoot at the place that's there's a minimum sound. Okay, minimum sound that you can capture. It means environment sound. Okay, that's not too loud.
Okay.
If you shoot indoor, you have to make sure there's not too much echo. Okay.
So, Mr. Izzat, we have around 5 minutes left. So, do you have anything else you want to wrap up on the spot?
Okay. Try to avoid using professional equipment. Okay. Because you're amateur. Because when you use professional equipment, if you already know how to use it, then it's okay. But when you very amateur beginners, you can use your phone, especially your phone. Okay. But the main thing is in creating a video content, a good quality video. Actually, it's not about the gear. Actually, it's a story. The content, what you want to show, is very important. How your story you want to tell to the audience. It's very important. If for example, for the good story, when you use only a phone camera, and then without any cutting on shot, and then you shoot only one angle. You're not going through for editing process. You only take one shot. But when the content really give some feel and some effect to the audience, that's a good enough. creating a good content. Creating a good content is means educate people about what you're showing. We it's not educational video. Educate. We can educate people in a lot of methods. Okay, so that's all for me.
Okay, so to summarize it all, video making techniques set the quality for your video. So we can achieve professional look more using the technique itself than the tools. So even without expensive equipment, chances are good that we can make a great video with whatever that we have in our hands. Just by paying attention to a few key details, for example, the one that being taught to us, the rule of third technique itself. So thank you to Mr. Izzat Hassan and the other panelists for sharing their extensive knowledge on video making techniques. Thank you very much.
Encik Muhammad Khalid, if I'm allowed
Yes.
to summarize.
Okay, sure.
We don't want to intimidate new filmmaker by all these sophisticated techniques and equipment. So I think what Encik Izzat is trying to say is make the best out of what you have at home to shoot. The most important thing is you must improvise. So if you have just a handphone to shoot, then you use more actors blocking yang macam Cik Izzat cakap tadi. So you create more movement for the actors to accommodate for your lack of camera movement. So the key word is you improvise and you have fun, and then you use whatever resources you have at home to create a good video.
Okay, we are done. Any other words from Cik Zul or Cik Zizan?
I'm okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Penjelasan
smart Zizan.
dah jelas lah semua. Ada di situ.
Okay.
Welcome back to the next slot. It was very interesting to hear and know, the various techniques to video production. And since morning, we have seen the etiquettes, the social etiquettes to produce video. Then we have seen the choice of content, and following that, the techniques. So before we move on to the next slot, just a very quick question. If students were to produce their video, they have to edit. What would be the video application softwares, perhaps that the panelists can suggest or recommend, which is preferably free or easy to use to help the students? Okay. To you, panelists.
If editing, there are some good quality softwares for computers, such as Resolve, DaVinci Resolve. Nowadays, where we can edit, we can do the sound, even color grade, and make visual effects by using just one software, rather than you have to plug in other software to accommodate your editing. But for handphones, for very cheap software, when you buy computers or even handphones, there are built-in editing softwares inside, such as Movie Makers, I think for Microsoft, and iMovie for Macintosh. And I think I'm not sure about the handphone, the name yang diorang gunakan, but there are very quite a lot of free downloadable apps or softwares in the market, so you can just use any type, as long as the main thing is your machine must be strong enough, because sometimes you buy cheap machine, which is meant for text, documents, PowerPoints. So it's not meant for editing. Editing, you will need a stronger RAM to process the thing. Otherwise, the video will be staggered. That will be a thing. And then some softwares, they have to render whatever material you have to suit to the editing punya needs. That's also a bit difficult. To me, the cheap one now, the good cheap one is not that cheap lah. For this amateur use, you can just get DaVinci Resolve. You can even download it from the internet. It's free.
What is it again? DaVinci, okay.
DaVinci Resolve.
Resolve, okay.
This
so
is
does the
version 17, I think. Yeah.
Does the use of software actually affect the product outcome of the video, or it's actually based on the skills?
For our level, you can use any kind, unless you are doing for movies, for the cinema or broadcast, then you need to get a proper one.
Okay.
Should be strong enough to withstand the motion picture.
Okay.
I have found some free editing software that can suitable with Windows, Mac, and Linux. The famous one is Filmora. Okay, for the, like Cik Zul said before, the professional software is more on for cinema and for broadcast. Adobe Premiere Pro, people always say Adobe Premiere or Final Cut Pro, XCP. But Final Cut Pro is a Macintosh based. Okay. But for Windows Premiere for the professional, okay, more user friendly. The Premiere Pro is more user friendly, and then the learning resource and is quite easy because there's a community using the Adobe Premiere. Okay, for the free one, I found that Filmora, the famous one is Filmora. Filmora. Okay, the problem is Filmora. When you use the trial, there's a watermark. There's a watermark on it, so there's a little bit problem. But when if you buy you can the watermark, you can remove the watermark. Okay, so the easiest software, another easiest software is Sony Vegas, and then Blender, Lightworks, Shortcut, and then DaVinci. DaVinci also free. I think DaVinci also free. Free. Okay. OpenShot, Avid, AvidMax, Hit Film Express, and InVideo. But now on the phone, very popular right now is InVideo and Filmora. There's the two software that they can use on phone, but not much you can do when you use the phone. If you want to edit in a proper way on editing, you can use the professional one.
But just to add to, when you make a movie, it's basically cut and dissolve. Those are the two things you need. You don't have to have too much visual effects and all. So if you want to do a short movie, even a documentary, you can just use anything. In fact, if you remember the movie Brokeback Mountain, it was edited in iMovie. So they didn't use Final Cut or whatever expensive kind of software. It was just the built-in iMovie editing in Macintosh. So it shouldn't be like they say, which camera is good. It's not the camera, it's how you shoot.
Okay. All right. On that note, yes. Okay. With a few suggestions of the video software, I hope this would be beneficial enough for all of you students. So moving on, the next slot is about the phases in a video production. And, we are so grateful today that, high quality video cameras along with excellent microphones are now built in headphones. But, having just good tools are not enough if we don't really understand enough the video production process from the concept until the completion. So with this, we bring you the slot called Phases in Video Production. And therefore, let's hear from all our great panelists. To the panelists.
So I will share I hope I can share this. Okay. Okay. Basically, in film production, there are three phases: pre-pro, production, and post. Nowadays, some people put it 5 phases. Idea development 1, pre-production, production, post-production, and then on the 5th is marketing. But we are sticking to the 3, pre-pro, production, and post. Okay, basically what happens in pre-production is where you start developing your idea. You get the idea from somewhere, as we discussed this morning. And then you start developing the idea and then start writing the script. At the same time, after your script is ready, you start selecting your actors, actress, or if you're doing documentary, you start selecting your subjects, who are the person to interview, where is the location and all that. And then the next one is, once the script is ready, you do a script breakdown, where you have to break the shots from the script. You break the shots, you break the location, you break the actors, the wardrobe, and the props, and all elements that we need for a shoot. And then once you have sorted out all this breakdown, we do the schedule, the shooting schedule for the production. And at the same time, we also prepare the budget. So that happens in pre-pro. And mind you, 60 to 70% of the work is actually in pre-production, because you must make sure that everything is correct, ready, and ready to shoot. Then you shoot. If you want to do the preparation when you are shooting, you're gonna die. Especially the script, because if you change the script in the middle of the shoot, at the end of it, your story will go haywire. And then in the pre-production also, we have the storyboard part. Storyboard is like, it must be as good. It's like be as good as a comic. When we browse through a comic, we can follow the story. So if your storyboard is as good as that, then you are good for a shoot. If you can't visualize the story from the storyboard, don't shoot, because most of your money will be gone when you are doing your principal photography, the production part, because production part is where most of the money will go. So preparation, not much. Of course, you have to book, you buy things to prepare for the shoot and all that. But the main bulk of the money will go to the principal photography. Okay, so once you have prepared the pre-production, and then we go for the production, which is the principal photography. This is where everything that you have prepared, all the schedule and all that, this is where you implement the thing, which is supposed to be like 20 to 30% of the work. And after the shoot, we go to the post-production, where we do the editing, we do the mixing, the marketing, and then the tayangan lah, the show. Okay, and in real term, it's supposed to be, the post-production is supposed to be 10% only, not what was happening now in some places where 90% of the work is being done in post. That is wrong. So whatever you do, you must be prepared in pre-pro. Okay, I will go, well, not very fast, but I have to reselect, because this is my, I call it common slides for everything.
For post-production,
Yes.
sorry Mr. Rizal,
Okay.
for all the students, for post-production actually is not a process of repair whatever happened in the production. It's not the process of, okay, we can fix on editing. No. It's not a stage of fixing. No. It's a process of complete your video. It's not fixing the video you have made. Some of the client in this industry, sometimes client or producer something, sometimes they will say, it's okay, we can fix on editing. No, not everything we can fix on the editing in the post-production process. So be careful. Pre-production is very important to plan everything what you want to shoot. That's all. Thank you, Mr. Zul.
Okay, thank you.
Cik Zul, can I ask thing for the production? So what you emphasize just now is in a conventional professional setting.
Yes.
So for our candidates, for the people who wants to join Polycctube, your pre-production is also include registering. You must register, you must plan, because you are shooting all by yourself. So you must also plan your resources, how much money you have, who are the people that are going to act in your, if you live alone, you might want to come up with a subject that is not human, or these are your pre-production. And then how much access do you have to shoot outside, or where you are staying? Is it PKPD or whatever, or if there's a flood or something? So all this you must take into consideration for your pre-production for this competition. Okay.
There's another thing. For instance, if you go and recce a place, so for instance, you want to use this playground, for a shoot. Okay, you recce the place on Sunday, which is a holiday. So you look at the place, wow, very nice, very quiet. Monday shoot, there's a construction next to the playground. So all your plan will be go haywire. So those are the things yang juga you have to consider, because for instance, you want to do a period of 1500 punya movie and your location is next to the airport. So how are you going to avoid that sound of aeroplane coming in and out? Okay, so all those things you have to plan during the pre-pro. Okay, this is one of the example of script from, I think this one from Godfather. Okay, so when you want to do a breakdown, so you must look at the script if you have a script like this. So you must do the breakdown for every actors or actress, and then what are the kind of wardrobe they wear. For instance, here Connie Corleone, the bride, is pressing the bodies of her overly fluffy white gown against the groom. So you must take a note that what is she's wearing, supposed to be wearing. Okay, white gown. And then with her curly blondish hair. So the makeup artist must make sure her hair is blondish, make it curly a bit. So all these details, you have to do the breakdown. And then once you have finished the breakdown, then you have the schedule. For instance, this one. Okay, so this is the schedule for the film Orlando. There you put the location, interior, great house hall, who are the cast involved with the shoot, who are the extras, and this is the period of time, and these are the props you must make ready for the shoot. So meaning that all these things will happen during the pre-pro, so that when you go to your shoot, everything is ready to roll. Because like I said, if you're not ready, you'll be wasting your time and money. So you have to pay the actors and all that for coming. But the shoot is cancelled, but you still have to pay. Okay. These are the types of schedule used last time. I don't know whether they still use it using the color code. This is the HN recorder for sound. Okay. Which is we can call it semi-professional, and some of it, I think now is HN8 with 8 output and input. So if you have the luxury of having this thing, by all means use it. But if you only have your handphone nowadays are quite good to record sound actually. But just note to remember that if your recordings, for instance, in the house, the sound is not good when you record. So you have to redub the thing in the post. So what you should do is when you shoot something in, say, in the lounge, shoot a scene in the lounge with 20 people, the crew and all that. After the shoot, you shoot the ambient sound of the place with everybody in the lounge. Because the sound of an empty room, the ambient sound of an empty room, and the ambient sound of room full of people, even they stay quiet, will be different. So what you should do is you record about 5 minutes of silence in the room, in the lounge with everybody there, which when you have to dub in the future, you can use the ambient sound to be the background of your dubbing. Because when you go and dub the sound, it will be very quiet. There's not even humming of aircon or fan, all that. even people breathing, that is, if 20 people breathing, there is a certain level of sound in there. So you don't want to have a dubbing, say a dialogue by this guy, and then suddenly in the middle, a few sentences in the middle, you have to dub the thing. Suddenly the ambient is too quiet. So what you have recorded earlier, the silence of the location, and then you can edit with the sound of the those in the post
as a background noise.
Yes, as a background noise. Yes. Otherwise, orang can, yes.
Creating a video actually. Sorry, you said so. For you guys, for students, especially polytechnic students, creating a videos actually is very technical. It's a very technical thing. Okay. In creative part is another thing. In technical thing is another thing. That's why to create a video, for example, for filmmaking, there's a lot of department we have to create to make sure the whole production run smooth. But as a content creator nowadays, this era is about one man show. So when you using your own skill, you have to know a lot of things. Technical part is another thing that support your creative work. Creative work without the technical parts, it must come together, and you must know. If, okay, for example, when you watch a video at YouTube, every content creator in their channel, actually their work, they are by their own. If the channel have a lot of subscribers, maybe 1 million and above, they actually have a team. They have their own team. Maybe certain channel, their work by their own. For example, the YouTuber named Mark Wen, he's doing a food review. But how he shoot, how he present the content is very creative and same level as a TV station standard. Same as TV standard station standard. And he worked alone. He has been supporting by his wife. Okay, when he doing this stand-upper, sometimes he's doing by using a selfie style, or sometimes his wife will hold the camera and shoot for him. That's why I said in production, in film production or video production, when you create something, at least if you can do alone, you already have a lot of knowledge to make a video. If not, please ask your friend to help you, or your brother or sister to help you while you're doing your videos. Don't do alone. If not, you will do a lot of mistake. It's good to learn from mistake. It's a good thing to learn from mistake, but try to reduce the mistakes.
Okay, meaning that everything must be done as a team. You cannot do it alone. Of course, if you want to shoot a tiger in the jungle, you might have to do it alone. Because usually wild animals, they can sense human from afar. So if you come with 20 guys just to shoot wildlife, you cannot put a date. Okay, we go this Sunday, we're going to shoot harimau. Okay, it won't happen because harimau can smell you 5 kilometer away. You punya deodorant ke whatever, you must smell like a hutan, then the harimau will come out. Okay, so back to our thing just now. So remember when we do the shooting, we need to be well prepared. okay, and use whatever means we have. So if you only have one handphone, just use the handphone, no problem. Because for our level, in fact, because nowadays people are not watching it in the cinema. Cinema, we need a very big, high resolution camera. But nowadays, the handphone are quite capable of producing for laptop screen punya resolution. So not to worry. So you can use whatever means you have. It's just you must understand. Okay, for instance, if you are doing shooting, okay, we have the. Just now, Cik Izzat talked about the rule of third, okay? And then we have also this 180-degree rule, where we must make sure that the actors or the sub stays on one side of the line and the camera on one side of the line. Because if the camera crosses the line, the audience will get confused. That's another big thing in filmmaking, the 180-degree rule.
Specifically for this competition,
yes.
What realistically, what fasa they have to go through? If they are limited to shooting at home,
yep.
With very little resources, and then of course with non-professional actors. So what do you think those who want to enter this competition? I think the first thing is opinion saya, Cik Zul, dia kena pertama sekali dia kena cari konsep kan apa yang dia nak.
Yes.
Then shooting tu I rasa diorang kena tengok apa yang diorang ada. Diorang kena improvise dengan macam Cik Izzat tadi kata, kalau kreatif nak dolly in dolly out guna kerusi yang beroda tu boleh kan Cik Izzat kan? Ataupun ikat kamera tu dekat skateboard pun boleh. So what do you think, Cik Zul?
I think okay. For the competition wise, the first thing is find your topic.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the content of your story first? Okay. Then you develop the idea, and then you start thinking of where to shoot and when to shoot, and who are the actors. Kalau you buat documentary, what are the topics? What kind of research, and what is the main focus to be in your video? And then once you have decided that, you go for the shoot, and once you have the raw material, you come back and edit.
That's the post-production. And don't get frustrated. Jangan cakap, alah kau cakap senang lah, kau boleh shoot masa tak PKPD. So don't let that limitation and that frustration disturb your creativity. Betul kan Cik Dizul kan? Yes. Don't just focus on the limit, tak boleh ni, tak boleh tu. No. Use that as a strength to maybe that limitation is a blessing kan Cik Dizul kan?
For example, I've watched videos, dia guna background, let's say for example like they just only use still pictures as the background. So they don't have to go out. They can use still picture, like say for example the forest or anything. Just only to show that they are actually somewhere around the area which is in a forest or something. So I think such thing also can be used also, right?
I remember telling my students during PKP to do an assignment for my direction class, the journey of a plastic bag. And they come up with wonderful ideas. The main talent is the plastic bag. So you can be creative and you can use anything as long as it convey. You can even treat a plastic bag like a human by putting voice over, you know, by making it alive. And you can even send a lot of message of recycle, and then they come up with fantastic ideas. You just give them the idea and not the limitation. Forget about the limitation and forget about the frustration. Now is the time to create and to be creative.
In fact, there are some festivals, they call it 48 hours, even 8 hours festivals, where today they give you a piece of paper, it's written there, bicycle. So you have to you have to create a story. In the next 2 days, show to the audience a story about bicycles. So what you can do is you just pick something like that, and start creating.
If you don't have you don't have a bicycle at home, you must think out of the box. It can be a drawing of a bicycle. It can be a bicycle pump. It can be something that you incorporate in your dialogue. Quote, dia ada nightmare kan, dan dia sebut the bicycle is eating me, the bicycle. So as long as it has bicycle, you fulfill the criteria. So that's what Dr. cakap awal tadi. You must think out of the box.
May I ask, what
Yes.
about the green screen concept, especially during PKP? Would that be good for students to utilize?
Yes, actually you are using that concept now. Actually it can be done nowadays. In fact, dia actually bukan green saja. It's green, red and blue, and white and black.
And what's the difference?
Dia depends on, okay, kalau your story that day, for film dulu dia pakai blue because blue is dia punya kontras dengan kulit. So they use blue. But nowadays with the computers, it's easier to do that, and you have the three primary colors: RGB, red, green, and blue, and then the white and the black. So if you want to use green, one of the pelakon to wear green, and you use blue as your background.
Do they
So
still call it,
can method.
they
Yes,
call it chroma key, Dizul?
yes, chroma
Because
key.
during my time in the 80s, they call it chroma keys. So do they still use this term?
I think Cik Izzat is more lebih faham on this thing yang the new one.
It's the same thing. Chroma key and green screen. Chroma key is the concept of shoot to put visual on it. The color, the color of the screen. That's why we pronounce as green or blue or red. But we have to understand how we use the green, blue, and red. Okay, so because the primary color is red, green, blue lah. But nowadays we can use any color.
Yes.
Any color nowadays, any color you can do. Even you not use whole green screen, even not use whole green, you can cut all this white wall and put on green also can. But there's a lot of work. For using, okay, back to the moderators, Mr. Khalid said, why not we using a still photo at the background? Yes, we can use, but based on what concept you trying to do, what product you want to do. If you doing a short film by using all the green screen, it's quite a problem. It's quite a problem because it's for amateurs using. Wow, I try to plan to use to make a short film using fully chroma key, and that's the first video he do. So there will do a very, it's not amateur, it's below than amateur video because it's first time using the chroma key and trying to be professional, trying to be and to be is a different thing. So that's why they have to know when they want to use the chroma key thing. Okay. If you want to do the chroma key, actually you need even lighting. Okay, you need proper lighting. If not, you will see when your subject very near to the chroma key and your lighting is beside the camera and totally frontal to the subject, your shadow will be dropped on the background like this. This is a shadow, right? My hand shadow. So when you put picture on it, so when you render, so the shadow will be on the background. So there's a lot of things to consider while you're using the chroma key. So the chroma key, when you want to, what color you want to use, it depends. When you use a background of green, don't wear your actors, your talent with the same color with the background. So even the product also, when you shoot a product, you're using a background of chroma key, green. There's a product on your product, the color green. There will be transparent when you render all the videos. Background and subject must be different color. Really different color. If not, dia ni. Tapi ada je sekarang yang orang buat, dia boleh touch up balik. Cuma banyak kerja lah. Banyak kerja. So the After Effects is another software. After Effects. Nowadays, YouTubers also using After Effects. After Effects is a really advanced effects or CGI you can use for supporting your video. But how difficult using it, you have to know editing software first.
For those of you who have drones, that expensive toy you have, don't overuse it. I notice kan, young people if they have drones, semua shot drone kan.
Okey, sekarang kalau nak sekarang kalau nak terbangkan drone memang dah payah dah. Dia pilot tu sendiri perlukan ada license yang tertentu dan tempat-tempat tu pula tak boleh. Sekarang memang tak boleh. Senang cerita tak boleh lah, senang cerita. Dan dengan PKP-nya apa semua PKD. Okey, lagi satu mengenai green screen tadi, saya rasa untuk yang ini untuk student. Jadi untuk green screen tu adalah satu benda yang susah bagi mereka sebenarnya sebab lighting semua nak kena jaga. Sekarang kita kalau boleh dielakkan, habis cerita. Kalau boleh. Sebabnya kalau nak cuba buat boleh, tapi nanti problem, let's say lah dah buat-buat kemudian green screen tu tak menjadi. Dan lagi satu, semalam baru dapat info daripada kementerian mengatakan kalau nak pergi syuting sekarang hanya mereka yang ada 2 jab dah full barulah boleh. Jadi dalam keadaan sekarang ni kalau dapat buat kat rumah pun dah kira alhamdulillah lah. Gunakan subjek apa yang ada di rumah tu saja dah mencukupi. Jadikan satu konten yang menarik. Ya.
Kalau contoh macam diorang gunakan katakan macam Lego adik dia ke whatever ke jadi karakter dia whatever.
Boleh.
Boleh.
Tak ada masalah sebab itu creativity. Yang itu boleh dikatakan itu dinamakan animatic. Stop motion. Stop motion tu dah satu hal yang betul-betul kan nak kena betul-betul precise dia punya movement apa semua baru dia cantik. Tapi kalau dapat buat memang cantik, sangat cantik sebenarnya. Itu salah satu kaedah yang bagus.
Stop motion film Star Wars. Kalau you remember scene yang dia naik macam kuda kat snow tu, it took them 2 years to do that. Just that thing cross the thing. So stop motion for this one jangan buat. Okay, untuk Polycctube ni jangan buat habis-habis. Dia very tedious because dia punya scale tu magnitude millimeter to millimeter. Like Cikgu Ulan cakap, enjoy your work. Yeah. Enjoy your shoot. Do your trial and error.
Think out of the box. If you have only a cat at home, you do a story about a talking cat, a cat who can speak. Then you put VO ke apa ke kan. So it's all about your creativity. Macam Cik Azizan cakap pun saya setuju. Student saya banyak menggunakan Lego, sikat jadi mikrofon and then stop motion yang simple tu I think boleh. You can. If it's a dream sequence, anything is possible. If you do a character is dreaming, so you can even do a double image of yourself, an alter ego. You can shoot yourself and then re-edit it, and then you can even have a twin brother punya story if you are at home. So anything is possible if you are creative.
Okay, I think lastly, last lah for the when kita ada pre-pro, production and post. The thing, I don't know who wrote this thing, but he said a good well-told story can withstand technical flaws from top to bottom.
Yes.
A bad, poorly told story, how technically well edited, will always be weak. An editor must think story first, technique second. So whoever in your department, think of the story first.
Okay. Dan lagi satu, pastikan tema tu menepati. Dalam kes ni untuk Polycctube,
tell them
about us. Yes, itulah dia.
Dan jangan pakai banyak sangat lagu-lagu. Saya tahu budak sekarang memang suka masuk lagu dia, aku geram betul. Astagfirullahaladzim.
Okay, Cik
Kurangkan
Zizok,
yang itu.
tambah sikit apa yang you cakap from Cik Dolah. Cik Abdullah is one of the lecturer from Aswara. He always say a good story, when you write a good story, dia tak kisah you use a fountain pen or pencil. It's not the pen or the pencil that determine your story. That means it's your story that is the most important thing.
Story is king.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
thank you.
totally agree. Can I just say something?
Yes.
Just a fun fact. Have all of you watched Raya the Last Dragon, the recent production by Walt Disney?
Yeah.
It is completely made at home. Completely from beginning till the end, where even the authors dub their own voices in their own houses, their own. So I think all this resonate with all the wise words from our panelists today, you know, with what you say about the story coming first. It's what you're willing to go, you know, to think beyond and outside of the box, your heart to do it. I think, you know, all this should bear a good reminder to all our students, especially those who are, you know, who have fire in their hearts to really want to join and produce videos. Okay, so yeah, back to the other moderators.
All right, so are we done?
Okay.
Okay, so thanks so much to our panelists, Mr. Gulam Shafi, Mr. Zulkarnain, Mr. Izzat, and Mr. Azizan, for the wonderful discussion on the faces and video production, as well as the other topics just now. So all in all, we may conclude that video production involves a lot of time, effort, and finesse from the 3 stages: pre-production to production, as well as post-production. And to recap back, we have already discussed on the social etiquette in producing videos, choosing video content, and techniques in producing quality video. And although it is done in quite a limited time, I hope that these 4 topics are very essential, and hopefully our participants could benefit from the discussion in producing their video. So as what they have reminded us, just be creative and think out of the box and start producing your video. Okay, thank you all the panelists.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
See all of you again on the 27th,
Yes.
Inshallah.
which is
See ya.
tomorrow.
Inshallah.
Stay safe.
All
Thank
right.
you so much.
Okay.
Stay safe, everybody.
Stay safe.
Okay, you too.
Sama-sama.
Welcome back.
Okay. Today we're moving on into the the 5th slot. That is competition briefing by the competition committee. So in this session, I would like to invite Madam Nur Zahila Rapal, who will be briefing to the participants on the rules and regulations and guidelines of the competitions, including the judging rubrics. This is to help participants to understand more clearly the conditions of the competition in producing videos that meet the judging rubric. So other than that, if you have any questions, you are invited to post the questions into the official Telegram Polycctube. Okay. Pass on to Madam Nur Zahila.
Okay, Assalamualaikum and a very good day to everyone. All right, so for today's session, I'll be sharing with you, okay, what are the regulations, okay, or the requirements, okay, that you need to understand, okay, in order to participate in the Polycctube 2021. Okay, I'll be sharing my slides, okay, so that you will have a better view, okay, on the regulations. Okay, so first of all, I would like to welcome you to Polycctube 2021. So this competition, okay, is organized by the Ministry of Higher Education, okay, with a collaboration with Aswara and also FDAM. So without further ado, let us proceed, okay, to today's briefing, right? So the first thing that I would like to share with you is about the theme of the competition. Okay, as mentioned in the previous session, All right, the theme for the Polycctube 2031, okay, is tell them about us. So what does it mean? Okay, it means that, okay, you are supposed to highlight, okay, the uniqueness of Malaysia, okay, in your own way. All right, and for the international participants, okay, you are free to find any materials, okay, that you find interesting about Malaysia, okay, and tell it in your own way, right? Okay, so moving on to the next one is the competition guidelines. So here I'm sharing with you, okay, what are the guidelines that you need to follow, okay, in order for you to take part in the competition. So the first is the eligibility. So this competition is only open to polytechnic and community college students, and also international students from other higher education institutions. So only these two group of participants, okay, are eligible to participate in the competition. And next we move on to the video status. So any video that you have submitted in other contests, okay, be it local or international, or which had been screened in public will not be eligible for submission in this competition. That means you have to make a fresh new one, okay, in order to participate. Next is the entry requirements, okay, that you need to follow. Okay. First is on the entry. So to enter this competition, okay, it can be by individual, okay, individual. That means you can enter by your own, or you can form a group, okay, comprised of not more than 5 members. And for the voiceover and also the dialogue, so the video, okay, that you want to submit, okay, for this competition must contain a voiceover or dialogue, okay, and the voiceover or dialogue must be in English, okay, with Bahasa Melayu subtitles, or in Bahasa Melayu with English subtitles. And for the international participation, your voiceover or dialogue must be in English with English subtitles. So I hope this part is clear for everyone. So what are the video forms, okay, that you can come out for this competition? So basically, you are allowed to make a vlog or video blog, interview, testimonial, demonstration, documentary, story, question and answer. Okay. However, animated video is not allowed, okay, for this competition. So talking about the duration of the video, okay, it should not exceed 3 minutes, okay, including the title, credits, and also the opening slide. And also the participant must ensure that the titles and credit displayed do not last for more than 1 minute. And the recording can be done, okay, using all types of equipment, including these SLRs and also video cameras. Please remember that all entry components must be the participants' original work. Okay, so original footage are encouraged, and only copyright-free videos, clips, or images produced or taken from other sources, online or offline, are allowed. Please take note that plagiarism is strictly prohibited and will result in disqualification. And as for the video content, so entries shall not contain any profanity, nudity, pornographic images, or explicit sexual themes, graphic violence, defamatory or libelous statements, or materials considered illegal. And also participants are responsible for securing any necessary permissions, talents, and also location releases, and licenses for audio material contained in the submission. Okay, next we move on to the registration of the competition. So to enter the competition, okay, you need to fill in, okay, the Google form, okay, as in the address given. Okay, so you have registered for the webinar, and after this webinar, you can complete the competition registration, okay, in the Google form provided. Okay, these are the important dates of the competition. Okay, as for the registration, it has already started since 17th May 2021. And the registration deadline will be on the webinar session, okay, which is on the 27th of July. Okay, and also the same date is for the webinar, okay, on the 27th of July. So, what is the eligibility to compete in the competition? So, only the participants who have registered and attended the Polycctube 2021 webinar are eligible to participate in this competition and submit their entries. That means, okay, you have to register for the webinar. You have to attend the webinar, okay, for you to be allowed to participate. Okay, next on the judging. So how this competition will be judged. Okay, so these are the judging criteria. So we will be looking on the overall impression or impact, visual appeal, technical execution, audio and visual quality, expression of theme, and wow factor. So all of these criteria, okay, sum up to 100%, okay, of the total marks. Okay, as for the competition categories, okay, there are two categories. Okay, the first one is the Best Video Award, okay, which comprises of the Polytechnic and community colleges. Okay, we have placings for first, second, and third. And second one is the Special Award or International Participation. Okay, we have the first place, second place, and also third place. We also have the People's Choice Award. So People's Choice Award is based on public voting for entries received from polytechnics and community colleges. And for this category, okay, viewers will be able to vote for the video of their choice at the YouTube link, okay, of the video of their choice. And for the selection of winners, shortlisted participants will be notified by email or phone, okay, by using the contact details from the entry form. And the decision of the Polycctube 2021 Secretariat and the judges at all stages of the competition is final. Therefore, no inquiries, complaints, disputes, or appeals shall be entertained in this regard. Okay, entry submission. So how are you supposed to submit, okay, your entry? So all your videos should be uploaded, okay, on YouTube. And the link should be sent to Polycctube 2021 Secretariat via email, okay, at polycctube@gmail.com. So in the video, you need to write, okay, the video title by using the following format, okay, for the subject, your YouTube link, space, and your poly name or your institution name for the international participation. All entries must be received by the Polycctube 2021 Secretariat no later than midnight on the entry submission deadline. And all entry submission received past the deadline will not be considered for judging. So please make sure you submit the videos, okay, at the time provided. And the video submission format is full HD. So these are the submission dates, okay, that you need to be aware of. Okay, so for the YouTube link submission, okay, it will start on the 27th of July, 2021. And the video submission deadline is on the 31st August 2021. So basically you have approximately 1 month, okay, to do the video and also to submit your video for the competition. Okay, so that would be all regarding the competition guidelines. So I wish you all the best for the competition. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for Madam Norazahila Rafal for the competition briefing. We are done with all of the sessions, Alhamdulillah, from slot 1 until slot 5. And it is hoped that with what the panelists have covered will spark new creative videos among the participants, with cultivation of the use of technology, where a generation of amateurs who can contribute to open the eyes of foreign countries to know Malaysia better by creating a creative, innovative generation in the delivery of information in the form of knowledge information to meet the diversity of content formats according to the current taste. Good luck to all of the competing participants. Thank you very much. Okay.